Philippine President Marcos Jr. has condemned the murder of a radio host who was shot dead during a live broadcast. Police say 57-year-old Juan Jumalon was live streaming his home-based station on the southern island of Mindanao. Officers say an unidentified gunman entered the booth and fatally shot him. His death is the latest in a long list of journalists killed in the country. Well, let's get more on this from our reporter Tom Brada. Tom, first of all, tell us more about what you understand happened here.
So Juan Jumalon, also known as DJ Johnny Walker, was broadcasting out of the studio in his home on Sunday morning when an unidentified gunman entered the studio, shot Mr. Jumalon at close range and then fled the scene after stealing Mr. Jumalon's necklace. Mr. Jumalon was then taken to hospital and was pronounced dead when he got there. The entire thing, I should point out, was captured on video since it was being live streamed on Facebook at the time, but the police say that a motive is not yet clear and that they're not aware of any previous threats being made to Mr. Jumalon's life. Now, the President of the Philippines, Mr. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has given a statement about the killing, and I can read you some of that statement now. He really wants the police to conduct an investigation to bring the perpetrators to justice, and he wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, that attacks on journalists will not be tolerated in our democracy, and those who threaten the freedom of the press will face the full consequences of their actions.
So that's a tweet from Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the President of the Philippines, talking about the death of Juan Jumalon. So we talk about this being the latest in a long line of incidents for journalists working in the Philippines, Tom. So are you able to give us an idea of what the situation is like for journalists working in that country?
The Philippines has a reputation as one of the most dangerous places in the world to work as a journalist. So just for some context, the killing of Juan Jumalon is the fourth killing of a journalist since the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. took over in June 2022. And for more broader context, it is the 199th killing of a journalist in the country since it returned to a democracy in 1986. Now, there is an organisation called the Committee to Protect Journalists. Each year it releases something called the Global Impunity Index. And what that does is it kind of records how a country goes about diligently prosecuting the killers of journalists, diligently or not, I should say. In this year's index, the Philippines was found to be the 8th worst country in the world when it comes to prosecuting the killers of journalists. So that gives you a sense of just how difficult an environment it is to be a journalist in the Philippines.
Tom, thank you. That's Tom Brada there, giving us that report.